Bugsy Benjamin back at it again with another video. How you guys doing? Good evening once again. Topic of conversation tonight. I want to read an excerpt here, a couple lines, and it reads like so. Freedom ain't free, it costs a fee. Freedom ain't free, it costs a fee. And not just money. It costs in different aspects of your life. Sometimes the fee is comfort, exercise, you're not comfort in the same place where you are physically, you're not comfort with you are where you are mentally, exercising and doing the work, doing aerobics, running, going to the gym, eating right, doing the right things, making the right decisions. You guys already know what the right decisions are when it comes to your health. It comes with a lack of comfort. Your body's not comfort because you're pushing your body beyond what you have in the past. Sometimes the fee is familiar faces. As you change, those that are around you that aren't changing, you start to leave them behind. If they can't change and adapt with you, you naturally leave them behind. You're growing at a bigger pace than they are. So they no longer will be around, or they may no longer be supporters. Sometimes the fee is being liked. The freedom from being liked is the fee to pay. The freedom of being. Let me rephrase that. The freedom from needing to be liked is a fee to be paid by being disliked. You got to be comfortable being disliked by speaking your mind, saying how you honestly feel, communicating in an honest, genuine manner. And with doing that, obviously, not everyone's gonna have, your supporting interest at heart. So, you're gonna lose people as you pay the cost to be free, physically and mentally and financially. The fee sometimes is immediate validation. As you build yourself, true freedom is built quietly over time. It's not, tomorrow I wake up, next week, next year, I'm free and I'm immediately better than where I was last year. The discipline, the work, the results start to build up quietly over time. And you don't get that validation immediately for an immediate action. The results aren't immediate. Real freedom charges up front. You pay in loneliness before alignment. You pay in silence before clarity. You pay in discipline before momentum. And you pay in discomfort before peace. Loneliness before alignment. When you're in your growth phase, when you're in your development phase, you're typically spending a lot of time by yourself. Maybe not lonely, but you spend a lot of time alone thinking and building and exercising, studying, reading, all the right activities to grow as a person. So that's why they say loneliness comes before alignment. You pay in silence before clarity, before you become clear and before you have frameworks of how you understand life and how you think about the world around you. Silence, again, getting back to that loneliness aspect, you pay in the, this is probably a benefit to be quite honest with you, but you pay in a lack of noise around you. You pay in silence. You're able to fixate and drown out the noise and focus on the signal. So honestly, that's not even really a con. I wouldn't even say that's a price. That's probably a benefit more than a price that you pay. Silence before clarity. Discipline before momentum. Getting back, again, a big part of that discipline is eating right, exercising, taking care of the physical. If you don't have physical health, you don't have any other type of wealth. you really don't have a life. Your body is your life, and by extension, how you interact with the world around you, with your environment. Oops. And with that loneliness, with that physical discomfort, comes discomfort before peace. That work that you're doing, that friction against other values, that those activities, those difficult conversations, the grind, the hours of grind work, the preparation, the studying, all that discomfort is the price you pay before peace and freedom. Most people don't want freedom. They want permission. They want permission and approval. Most people don't want freedom. They want permission to live, and they want approval that they're living in congruency with how they expect, with how the world expects them to live. They don't want to be free of others' opinions of them. They don't want to be free from others' jails, ramshackles of jails and expectations. They want approval, and they want permission to live in those said jails of others' opinions and approvals. Freedom means choosing even when nobody claps. Goes back into making the right micro decisions. You deciding to stay in and cook stir-fried chicken rather than ordering pizza. No one's clapping for that decision. You sticking to your budget this month of February, it's going to help you lead to freedom, but no one's in the background here clapping because, you achieved so-and-so goal this month, or you achieved this task, or, you're on so-and-so trajectory. No one's going to clap while you're on the trajectory. They only clap after you've attained your freedom, after you've attained the outward projection of freedom, the outward projection of success. The quiet part is, once you've paid the fee, you stop negotiating your life like it's a group project. There's no refunds once you embark on this path of freedom. We don't need any applause. We don't need any external motivation. It all comes from within. Just ownership of your own decisions, ownership of your actions, ownership of your life. The buck stops and starts with you. And that gives you the freedom to take full authority and full accountability for your actions and for your outcomes of your life. If you didn't get stated benefits, stated actions, if you didn't get stated benefits or stated outcomes, what were the actions that led you to that? What were the activities? The activities lead to the outcomes. The activities lead to the outcomes. What activities did you do consistently? To lead to so outcome? And was that the outcome that you intended to? Was that the trajectory that you intended to be on? So, having freedom from a boss, freedom from a paycheck, needing a paycheck, freedom from others' opinions, freedom to speak your mind truly, freedom to control your time, to control your effort, to control your energy. True freedom doesn't come for free. It comes at a cost. It comes at a price. It comes at a cost of work, at a cost of making the right decisions. It comes at a cost of refraining from doing certain things. Freedom comes from the cost of discipline. I think is probably easiest said. The discipline leads to the freedom. The actions and disciplines lead to your ideal outcomes. Are you disciplined financially? Are you disciplined with your health? Are you disciplined with your religion or your spirit? With your relationship with who you pray to? Are you disciplined with your children, with your family? I don't mean, hitting the stick discipline. I mean discipline with your habits and your communication, discipline, maintaining and making sure your standard of living is solid, is on a solid foundation. These things all cost time, money, effort, energy. Nothing comes for free. Anything that's worth having is worth working for. And if it's not worth working for, it's typically not worth having. And I think freedom, real freedom of oneself, falls in that category. To achieve freedom, it's a lot of work. It's not just work, mindset, actions, discipline. And even if you're missing just one or two of those, you won't attain that goal of true self-bodily freedom, freedom of others, freedom of your mind, freedom of control of your mind, freedom of how you view the world, freedom of, the box that society has put you in. Have you breaking yourself out of this box? Me, I've been put in this box. I'm black. Yeah, I'm from Trinidadian background, born Canadian, born in Toronto. Hip hop, R&B, that puts you in a box. How you dress, how you present yourself, that puts you in a box. Your speech and how you talk, and vocabulary, your work, your occupation, your specialties, your habits, your skills. All those things are just separate boxes that society puts you in. And how do you break free from that? So no one person can put you in one box. No one person can put me in just one box. I shouldn't say I break all boxes, but I strive to break all boxes. I'm adaptable. I can change and adapt with my environment. I grow and I adapt with my environment. I'm able to adapt to certain circumstances, difficult circumstances, and I'm able to adapt and rest I'm able to adapt and fight in wartime and in difficult times. I'm able to relax and be peaceful in peace times. Very key. Some people may excel in peacetime, but some people don't excel when it's time to battle, when it's time to go to war. There's no such thing as a planet without conflict. Conflict is a part of life. Competition is conflict. That's the definition of competition, is conflict. Conflict between entities, each entity trying to get, the invisible hand, as they say, each entity acting within its own best interest to gain what it wants out of the economy, out of the marketplace. And in return, in order to be able to ask for something, you need to be able to give, you need to be able to contribute something in return. Markets are reciprocal, buy and sell. So just as people want to receive freedom, people want to receive financial and health, wealth, what are you contributing back to earn that? What are you doing? What kind of decisions are you making consistently to recoup those benefits, to recoup that lifestyle, to recoup that standard of living? This is a pretty good topic. I don't want to make this video too long. We're already at 14 minutes. I just want to leave you guys with a couple bars of knowledge. Honestly, I don't even categorize this as knowledge. These are just my philosophies, my talking points, just the way I view the world, verbalized. I'm not the best speaker, obviously. That's a work in progress, but I think I'm still miles ahead of many. Able to get at what I want to, able to communicate the way, I intend, what I truly meant to say. So I'll leave you guys with that for tonight, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out. Freedom ain't free. Cost to feed. Best believe.